was the night before Christmas, and all through the home, one boy would discover he'd been left all alone.
I made my family disappear. You guys give up? Or you're thirsty for more?
Home Alone, sure, the greatest holiday family film.
Well, after flustering around for an hour with all my DVDs, I just did the unthinkable. I had to go on a streaming service. So I have decided to do the movie Home Alone. And I will review that and do my wonderful grading after this.
What's inside every specially marked box of Cap'n Crunch cereal now? A mini magic 8-ball that will answer your questions. And if you find a gold 8-ball, you win $1,000.
Mine, all mine.
Spend it any way you want.
Where do I start?
Any will enter, 100 kids will win $1,000. Any questions? To enter without purchase, write Cap'n Crunch Mini Magic 8-Ball, Box 82154, St. Paul, Minnesota, 55182.
This is Chip Cod Roach.
Obviously.
I see we're starting already. That was quick. And yes, I am reviewing Home Alone. Mainly because I could not find Cool Runnings. But that's okay. This is a very good second choice.
This is a better movie.
Oh, well, we will see. And this is, well, I don't want to give it away. And this was directed by Chris Columbus. Of course, it was written by the late John Hughes. Oh, Chris Columbus, he directed some doozies. He was a producer for 9 months. He was an executive producer for Monkey Bone. Unfortunately, he was also a producer for the great film Jingle All the Way. So, but he did do Home Alone. So this is, of course, starring Macaulay Culkin. I think he was in some John Hughes movies before this. He was in Uncle Buck. Well, John Hughes also directed. He directed a lot of movies. He is the one that actually wrote this. And he was in Uncle Buck, obviously Home Alone 2, Richie Rich, My Girl, The Pagemaster, and The Nutcracker. And I'm sure he would. Oh yeah, and The Good Son. And then of course this is also co-starring Catherine O'Hara.
Who?
She was in Beetlejuice. The first one, not the. I didn't say his name 3 times. Well, now he might appear now.
You actually just say it 3 times.
I did just say it 3 times. Yes. Well, he did not appear, so obviously he isn't real. I have to inform Generation Boring that he doesn't exist. So, who did I just say? Oh, yes, Catherine O'Hara. So she was also in After Hours. She was in Wyatt Earp. Never heard of any of those. Sense and Sensibility. Then also John Hurt is in this. He's been in a couple other things. Big, The Pelican Brief. He is the father in this movie. And then his brother Buzz. I actually forgot the actor's name, but he was in Dennis the Menace. And then, of course...
Is he a douche in that, too?
He's not I wouldn't say he's that. He's very illiterate in that movie. He couldn't even read a children's book.
Oh. So like he is in this, because he's more than this, too.
He is similar. But then we have the 2 very entertaining actors in this. The 2 robbers. We have the great Joe Pesci.
Who?
He was in 8 Heads in a Duffel Bag, which I just reviewed. He was in Goodfellas. He was in Casino.
Which bad guy is he? Marv or Harry?
Harry.
Oh. So who the hell is Marv?
Daniel Stern.
Never heard of him.
I'll get to him in a minute. Joe Pesci is quite a... He was in Lethal Weapon 2, 3, and 4.
Nope, and nope.
Nope, and nope.
Never seen him.
And he was also in Easy Money.
Never heard of it.
He was in one episode of Tales from the Crypt.
Never heard of it.
Okay, now I can go to Daniel Stern. Daniel Stern was in City Slickers. City Slickers
Never heard of it.
2.
Nope.
Unfortunately, he was in Christmas Story 2. He was in Bushwhacked, Dookie of the Year. Oh, I'm sorry, Rookie of the Year.
No, and no.
Anything else you would have seen him in? I know he was in something else.
Home Alone 2.
I thought I said that.
No, you didn't say Home Alone 2 at all for either one of them.
Okay, he was in. Oh yeah, he was in Home Alone 2. Oh yes, and Celtic Pride. That could be why he's not in anything else. That's why he hasn't been anything else in a while. I think that kind of destroyed his career. So anyway, so Home Alone. So this is a very interesting story.
Self-explanatory by the title.
Pretty much, yeah. It is very self-explanatory. This came out in 1990. So this came out in 1990. And I'm trying to remember exactly what came out that year. I think the Never Ending Story 2 may have come out in 1990. I'd have to look all of that up, but this has to be one of the top movies that came out that year. For sure. Okay, so 1990, we just pretty much got the list. So there were some interesting ones on there. The first Ninja Turtles was on there. We also had, what was Ghost Dad on that list? Oh yeah, Ghost Dad with the interesting Bill Cosby. I think he's in jail now. So I wonder if he's sharing his cell with P. Diddy. So it was just a question. So anyways, so then we also have Ghost Dad. I think I mentioned Joe versus Volcano. I've never seen that. I don't know if I want to see that. And the movie Ghost, which I guess was the highest grossed in the United States. Okay, so that doesn't surprise me. And there was also Pretty Woman, but worldwide was Home Alone. So we'll see what the two idiots have to say about that at the end of the. Oh, I wasn't getting the. Oh yeah, so then also Kindergarten Cop was also on that list as well. So there were some really good movies around this time, and some of them, I guess it's like any other year, not really that good. So pretty much here, Kevin McAllister, played by Macaulay Culkin, is left home alone. The family oversleeps. They rush to get ready. They don't really miscount their kid. One of the neighborhood annoying drop-ins ends up just going through the van. They count him as one of their kids, so they drive off, and Kevin is by himself. So he has mixed feelings about it. He's a little afraid, but also he's happy because he's got nobody bothering him. So it turns out that there's a couple robbers that are looking to break into that house, and Kevin is there, so he does encounter them a couple times. So we will see what happens. He also has a run-in with the police because he shoplifts a toothbrush, because he's afraid of one of his neighbors, which we will see what happens with that. So now I will take you through the first clip. This is also, as you know, 20th Century Fox, and the Fun Police Disney owns it. So yes, these clips do only have to be 6 seconds. It's also on a streaming service. So I am so good at working those. So bear with me as I will make several jokes towards my Roku. So I will show you
Yours?
Your Roku.
Thank you.
So I will do the first clip in just a second.
We have cash.
You barely get the kind of travel check that don't work in France.
Did you plain cheese?
Well, yeah, we did. But if you want any, somebody's gonna have to barf it all up.
Well, I had to do the opening part here because this is the first issue that I guess Kevin stirs. Well, I shouldn't say Kevin started it. His brother did eat his pizza, and it looks like his brother's eaten quite a few pizzas in his lifetime or that day. So, obviously, he ate his piece. That was just plain cheese, and then he goes to barf it up, and then I have a lot of questions with this scene as well. But yes, Kevin does kind of push him back into the table, and everything pretty much becomes a mess. But what were the passports doing?
And the tickets.
Well, yes, but the passports might be more important. What were they doing on the table when they're about to eat?
With 15 billion children.
Yes, with a lot of children. And yes, that one kid with the glasses, the one that gets pinned in with the chair there, is actually Macaulay Culkin's brother in real life. Yeah, so his brother Kieran Culkin is in this as Fuller, the kid that wets the bed. So that, and I guess that is the punishment for him spilling all that nonsense on the table, which his brother started, and I love how his brother gets away with everything. But I think everything was going to be explained to his mother until his Uncle Frank kind of ruined it and pretty much made him to be the jerk. So Uncle Frank is the cheapskate uncle that is in this. So then what happens is I will show the next clip where Kevin pretty much wishes that his family would disappear. Although who can blame him after that? So I will show the next clip.
I've had that wish a few times.
Oh, I think we all have. So I will show the next clip in just a couple seconds.
This house. Third floor?
Go.
It's scary up there.
Don't be
His family hates me.
Then maybe you should ask Santa for a new family.
I don't want a new family. I don't want any family. Families suck.
Just stay up there. I don't want to see you again for the rest of the night.
I don't want to see you again for the rest of my whole life. And I don't want to see anybody else either.
Well, so this is good old Kevin here, wishing that his family would pretty much go away. And does he get his wish? Absolutely. A tree falls on some power lines and knocks out the power, and the family oversleeps. Now, what kind of chaos would this cause in the morning with a house with that many people, and they all look like nervous Nellies? And I could just imagine what that house is going to look like.
Could you imagine if my family went on a vacation like that? How chaotic that would have been? I'm gonna go with you. Could imagine.
Oh, I would have times that by like 1 million. That would not be good. Oh, that wouldn't be good. Well, Alexa's going to turn off the lights, and I'm going to show you the chaos in the house.
Heather, go ahead, Kat. Make sure everyone's in the van. What's the ticket?
Put them in the microwave and dry them off.
Well, here's the chaos. Then to top everything off, I'm sure the airport service is already mad because nobody's ready. And worst of all, you have a kid there asking him 1 million questions. I'm sure he's one of those kids that like to ask questions. I'm sure he gets migraines and then pukes up blue and green chunks on the school bus. He just seems like the type. I'll explain later. So, as you can see here, the inside the house is just chaos. Everybody's running around. They're throwing on sweaters. I wouldn't even waste my time. I would just find out what the temperature is in France. Okay, it's nice. I'll just throw on a pair of sweatpants and call it a day. I wouldn't worry about all the other extracurricular stuff. But yes, it is chaos in the house, and now Kevin is pretty much going to know that he is home by himself. So I will get to that in just a second.
Where are you guys? What? I made my family disappear.
Kevin, you completely helped.
I made my family disappear.
Well, I guess Kevin now finds out that he is by himself and he's alone. So obviously there is the mixed feelings there of being a little bit in shock at first, but then when he says that he made his family disappear and he really thinks about it, he kind of starts dancing around the house and he's jumping with popcorn and all that fun stuff. So as of right now, he's having a good time. And then he's soon after that, he watches a movie he's not supposed to, and he's having a bunch of ice cream. So, now one fun fact that, of course, I forgot, again, at the beginning of this, was the commercial that I chose to put on. That was the Captain Crunch with the golden ball in it. And I did forget to do this at the beginning. This is the second time in a row. Whoops on my part. There was a funny story with that gold ball that was supposedly $1,000 if you got it. People in the grocery stores, the customers, were actually ripping the boxes apart and ripping them open just to try to find this gold ball.
I'm not surprised.
So this little promotion here, I think, may have backfired on Captain Crunch, because I think several grocery stores probably let them know this may have been a very stupid idea. So could you just imagine Walmart customers are already very inconvenient people to be around. Could you imagine them back then ripping open every box?
No, 'cause I don't think they were bad back then. 'Cause when I was a kid and I went to Walmart, it was not that bad.
Oh, that's true. Okay, yeah, fair enough. That was a different time. But still, I mean, I could just see grocery store managers just having a fit with this. But that is something I did want to say. So now, since I got that finally out of the way, I will go to the next clip when the Mrs. McAllister finds out that she, whoops, forgot Kevin.
No, that's not it.
What else can we be forgetting?
Kevin!
Well, Mrs. McAllister now knows that she forgot Kevin. And I know you're asking, how did they forget their kid? That is a really good question, because I can't really come up with a good answer. Except for the fact that they miscounted, they were in a hurry, but...
They did not miscount. They counted another kid.
Well, that's what I mean. They counted another kid, so... Well, I don't know, maybe she thought that she maybe should have... But they didn't really have time to double check either. But then when they got to the airport, you think that they would have maybe, noticed that he was gone, but then we wouldn't have a movie. So, there you go. So, that is still a good question anyways, though, even though there is a lot of people to keep track of. How do you forget your kid?
Well, don't they only have a few kids? The rest of them are...
Yeah, because I think they only have Buzz, that redheaded kid that was in Pete, and then they have the one daughter, so I guess they have 4, counting Kevin.
They should have counted their 4 children and forgot about the rest of the kids.
Yeah, that probably would have been a good idea. But again, then we would not have a movie, and we would not have the 2 robbers that are about to invade the house, and what better robbers to pick than Daniel Stern and Joe Pesci. What a pair. And I will have Alexa turn off the lights, and I will show you that clip in just a second. Alright, well, here are the 2 robbers. This is Marvin Harry, Joe Pesci, and Daniel Stern. And they really are a great pair. They are probably my 2 favorite characters in this movie. And yes, they're hilarious. Kevin is okay, but the 2 robbers are better. And now, I will say that Joe Pesci, from what I heard, he had a hard time with this movie because it was a PG rating, so he couldn't drop any F-bombs, which is what he loves to do in probably 98% of his movies. That is what Joe Pesci does best. Yeah, so I do agree. Kevin is funny. He's got his little smart comments, and the fact that he outsmarts the 2... well, you know what? Actually, I will talk about that. If Kevin was so smart, he would have just called the cops. He knew what time they were going to come back at 9 o'clock later in the movie.
He wanted to defend his house.
Yes, but he didn't have to go through all that trouble. He could have saved himself a lot of time, and he wouldn't have, he wouldn't have to encounter them. He could have said, hey, policemen, they're coming here at 9 o'clock. just come to the house, and they would have shown up, and they would have gotten arrested right then and there. It would have been no problem.
But then it wouldn't be funny because they'd get beat up by an 8-year-old.
Well, then we wouldn't have a movie. So yeah, that wasn't them. I'm just saying, if he was so smart, he would have done that. But that's fine. He did the Macaulay Culkin thing. So his. But yes, but what I'm saying is the two robbers are funny. The fact that they do get outsmarted by an 8-year-old, and also Harry being Joe Pesci is funny alone, and so is Daniel Stern, and the two of them together, they just made it funny. You still don't agree with me. Oh well, that's fine. All right, well, I will show the next clip, and this is the scene where Kevin gets into a little bit of trouble here shoplifting.
Just tell me.
Hey! Jimmy, stop that boy!
Hey! Hey!
I'm trying to remember where I left off.
Go.
So this is the shoplifting scene for a toothbrush. All he had to do was just toss it aside and run away. He didn't have to grab onto the toothbrush. And then we had Chicago's Finest trying to run him down. I think that cop had way too many donuts because he could not catch Kevin at all. And then he ended up slipping on ice and letting Kevin get away. So Chicago's Finest at its best, folks. Tripping on ice and letting the kid get away. Well, now we will show the next scene of how Kevin treats a pizza delivery guy. And this scene, my mom was actually crying in the movie theater. She was laughing so hard. So, in case my parents do watch this, my mom could get her favorite scene of the movie on here. So I will show you that scene.
Only
in just
6
a second.
seconds.
Yes, we will try. Alexa, turn
No
off.
good keister off my property before I pump your guts full of lead. 2, 10.
Well, this is, I think, the last time this pizza delivery boy is ever going to go to the McAllister house. I guess he really thought that he was getting blown to bits. Yes, and like I said, my mother absolutely loved this part of the movie. It was amusing, especially when he said, well, you have to pay for your pizza, sir. That part, I like the little snarky remark that he had there. And now John Candy does make a cameo appearance in this movie, and the pizza delivery boy actually made more money than John Candy actually did doing this movie. Because John Candy did this as a favor, I believe, to John Hughes. So I think he may have actually done this for free. But I'm not 100% sure on that. But I did find out that he did do it as a favor. So I will show you, actually, the scene with John Candy because he helps out Mrs. McAllister in her time of need, yelling at the airport people, which is something everybody would love to do, especially for flying Southwest Airlines. So I will show you that clip coming right up in a couple seconds.
Ma'am, get you a hotel room.
Excuse me. Can you excuse us for a second? Can I see you for a second, please? Oh, please. Couldn't help but hearing you got a little bit of a dilemma there. Well, we got a crisis ourselves. Allow me to introduce myself.
Well, this is John Candy, part of the polka band that he's with, and he's going to give Mrs. McAllister a ride to Chicago. And I am so sorry that I made fun of Southwest Airlines. I am so sorry. I am going to write myself up.
What are you talking? Why are you weird?
Oh, I'm sorry. They're not called Southwest. It's Southworst. I got the name wrong.
I still don't get why you're weird.
So anyway, so this is John Candy, or I forgot his actor's name in this, but yes, he is going to give her a ride to Chicago, so she is on her way to see her bratty son, Kevin, who is about to pretty much defend the house against the two cat burglars who are incredibly noisy. So I'm going to show you that clip in just a second.
Be a good little fella now and open the door. What?
Hello.
Oh.
Ooh, that hurts. Well, that's the first shot at the robbers, and Marv decides to stick his head in the doggy door. I don't know why he would do that when something bad just happened to Harry's family jewels. But then Marv decides to get hit or shot in the head with the BB gun. So then he manages to say the little jerk is armed, and then they go run and get into some more trouble here. So the next scene I'm going to show is, well, really Marv is... Which one's taking the bigger beating? Probably Harry. Because he got burned a couple times. But
he got burned. He got thrown off the steps.
Marv got banged around a little bit, but now he's gonna get his a little bit worse now. So I will show you that clip in just a second. Well, this looks like this hurts a lot. He's stepping on these... You know what? His mom's going to be mad. He's stepping on their glass ornaments. I'm sure those are very expensive.
You get $5 at Walmart for like $12.
Those were nice! Those were nice! And now there's blood all over the floor. It's going to look like OJ's house. Well, now we will get to the very next scene coming up here with some, yes, this is the final scene. So, I will show you that in just a second here. It's the part with the paint cans. So, I'm sure you will enjoy this. And, Alexa will turn off the lights and we will show you that clip in just a second.
I'll kill him. You bomb me with one more can.
Well, this is the final scene here with the paint cans, and yes, and I did like the part when Harry steps on Marv. So I'm sure Marv now has a few internal, and I'm sure now he's bleeding internally from that, because that was not just a little soft stomp. He flat out just crushed him pretty much to get up those stairs. And then he managed to duck, and then Marv gets the first can in the face. And then Harry, of course, gets the second one, and his gold tooth is knocked out. So they are both very unhappy at this time. It is just not going their way. And this is the final clip, and of course I know millions of people have seen this movie, but I'm not going to show the ending because I never do, unless it's something very, very, very bad. So, I'm now going to show what Kermit and Miss Piggy have to say about this wonderful movie, if they like it or not. I agreed with them on Son-in-Law, but let's see what their take is on Home Alone.
Around from one studio to another because nobody thought it would have much promise at the box office, but now it's about to become the biggest hit of all films released in 1990. We'll analyze the movie's success when we come back. By Chris Columbus and written and produced by John Hughes, who specializes in movies about kids and families and teenagers, and this time, they really hit the jackpot. Almost every scene in the movie involves a previously little-known young actor named Macaulay Culkin, who was inadvertently left home alone when his large extended family and relatives all oversleep and raced to the airport without him. The movie follows his adventures as he copes by himself for a few days and even booby-traps his house to foil a couple of would-be thieves. 3 months, Home Alone has stood at the top of the box office charts week after week after week, ahead of even such highly touted blockbusters as Godfather Part 3 and Kindergarten Cop, which also did very well but not this well. Yet the movie didn't create much of a stir when it was released, except with the public, of course. I voted thumbs down on my review. Gene voted thumbs down on his review. Most critics could really care less about this film, arguing that the movie was too implausible to believe, and that no little kid could actually do all of that stuff. I guess maybe that must have been like criticizing West Side Story because it had too much singing and dancing in it. It turned out that the audiences loved the whole package, including the implausibility. But there may also have been some deeper forces at work there. We're living in troubled times right now, and Home Alone offers the exact opposite of the headlines on the news. It's funny, it's lightweight, it's escapist, it's a fantasy, it's a comedy, it's about a little kid. It shows the kid using his ingenuity to outsmart the bad guys, and the audience seems to be thinking, if a kid could do it, why couldn't I? The implausibility is part of the fun. And to quote another ad about another movie, boy, do we need it now.
Well, I think that the secret has to do with they did tap into a common fear, and we both talked about that in our original reviews, which was being home alone is a frightening thing. I remember the first time I was left home alone without a babysitter, and I stood by the window most of the night just waiting for my family to come home. So that you start with that. What we both felt is that they didn't play it serious, and of course they didn't, much to their success. I just think that the reason, because I'm trying to explain, how could we be so off, and if that's what we really are? And I think that maybe it has a lot to do with slapstick, which is such a special taste. In other words, you either buy somebody's idea of physical slapstick or you don't at all. And I didn't laugh at all during all of the stunts pulled out. And I understand that gets wall-to-wall laughs from kids in the audience and adults.
Sooner or later, a book will be written on the cinema of John Hughes, who has had a lot of movies that we've liked very much, like The Breakfast Club and Planes, Trains, and Automobiles.
Yes.
And who takes a very simple idea every time. Look at Ferris Bueller's Day Off. A kid gets a day off from school. Planes, Trains, and Automobiles, 2 people trying to get home for Thanksgiving.
Right.
Breakfast Club, 4 kids stuck in detention after school.
Right.
A very simple idea that everybody can identify with, and then develops it in a way that is more or less accessible, and yet at the same time there's usually a little current of meaning in there. And this time he really did strike a nerve that he didn't strike for us, but all along it's interesting that he takes these typical, everyday, universal American experiences. He doesn't go for, it's not monsters, it's not Star Wars, it's just everyday stuff.
Yeah, he's, along with Spielberg, Vincent Canby called Spielberg the poet of suburbia. I guess he might be a lyricist or something. The other thing that was going on in the film was the Christmas subtext, and I think that's a very powerful thing. People hunger for a heartfelt Christmas movie, I think, 12 months a year, actually. And the business with the neighbor next door, which I thought was so patently obvious, people bought it.
Maybe one other thing we ought to mention, Chris Columbus, the director, does a good job. I mean, this movie could have easily been very badly made, and it's not badly made.
It looks real pretty.
Coming up next, our weekly video.
Well, this is the great Siskel and Ebert doing their nonsense with Home Alone. And apparently, as usual, Gene Siskel didn't laugh one time. He said kids had fun with it. Well, I remember my dad laughing. I sure remember my mom laughing. And I think even my grandpa was even laughing at parts of it. So I don't want to hear their nonsense. And I like how Siskel was talking about hunger. I think he was talking about Ebert. And I like how Ebert was doing this with his hands. I think he was talking about the movie chair moving around every time he was sitting on it because he was breaking the chair. So I had to have these two clowns get involved with this because I was just very curious on their take of it. I honestly did not know that they gave this a thumbs down. I'm actually very, very, very surprised. But Gene Siskel should actually be alive now because he would fit in with this generation boring, along with Roger Ebert. They watched this movie with a serious turtle face. Is pretty much what they were doing the whole time when this was a comedy. So, anyways, get back to my review here. What did I think of this movie? Is it my favorite Christmas movie? No, it's not. But this is a great time. It's fun. I honestly really enjoyed it. I'm not sure where I would really rank it in my Christmas movie list, but it's
Top
pretty,
10.
It's up there for sure. So yes, I did enjoy this. If anything, I'd have to give this a B or B plus. What? It's not an A movie, but a B plus is very good. If I got a report card with a B plus on it, I was very happy. That's actually a compliment. A B plus for a Macaulay Culkin movie is not bad. So, do I recommend this for people that haven't seen this? Yes, I do. I mean, this movie was very good because it was on every single Thanksgiving on network TV. We had football, and then we had Home Alone. That's what we had. We didn't have wrestling pay-per-view, so we could not see the Survivor Series, so we watched Home Alone. So, and then I did end up getting it on VHS, because back then that's what we did. We didn't have a streaming service. We had to wait for
Or
it to come
DVDs.
out or DVD. But we had to wait longer to get it on VHS. We had to wait 6 months, if not longer, depending on the movie. So yes, this is a movie that I would highly recommend. Watch it during the holidays. I know people watch
Or in the summer.
I know people that watch it in the summer. So so go right ahead. It is worth it. And again, you can get it on the Disney Plus. Oh yes, you can get it on Disney Plus because it is 20th Century Fox. Or you can do what I just had to do, which is pretty much buy it on either Amazon or eBay, because my copy got dry rotted. That's a disadvantage to DVDs, folks. There is a disadvantage to doing it my way. So comment below. Let me know what you think of this. Let me know if this is one of your favorites. I am glad to hear it. So comment, subscribe if you want, and thank you for watching.